Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of Assistive Technology and Accessibility Weekly News. We had our first live last week on Wednesday at 6 p.m. I would love for you to join us for our second live this week, Wednesday, 6 p.m. on YouTube. Our first story I actually introduced on last week's live, but I'll go into more detail today. And that was talking about Illinois moving to safeguard autistic residents' medical records amid the federal registry proposal. So last week, Illinois Governor JB Pritzker signed an executive order to safeguard the medical records of autistic individuals in that state. The order prohibits state agencies from sharing autism-related data outside of the state government without explicit consent and underscores that autism is a neurological difference, not a disease or epidemic. The order comes in response to a controversial federal proposal from the National Institutes of Health and Health and Human Services to create a national autism database, which has sparked backlash among advocates. Critics, including the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network, argue the database could be misused, particularly under HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who has made disparaging remarks about autistic people and promoted discredited ideas like the autism vaccine link. Advocates worry that the de-identified data could still lead to discrimination or surveillance, especially given the broader political climate, including attacks on both autistic and trans communities. Trans and non-binary individuals are statistically more likely to be autistic, making these groups particularly vulnerable to policies that conflate or target them. In contrast to federal rhetoric, Pritzker has engaged with disability and autism advocates, opposed Medicaid cuts, and advanced trans rights in Illinois. His executive order is seen as a strong protective measure and a model other states are encouraged to follow. I will link the article and the executive order down below. Our second story is the announcement that MVDA 2025.1 Beta 8 is now available for testing. The Beta 8 of MVDA 2025.1 is now available for download and testing. For anyone who is interested in trying out what the next version of MVDA has to offer before it is officially released, we welcome you to download the beta and provide feedback using our issue reporting process. By installing the beta, you will be opting into MVDA's beta channel and will only receive update notifications for beta and release candidate builds. The beta RC channel will always keep you up to date with the latest MVDA version. The last RC in a release cycle is identical to the first stable release. To return to the stable release channel, upgrade manually to the last stable build. So I will put these links below, the issue reporting process and the last stable build. Those links are also going to be on the web page that I link below. So as you read through it, you'll notice that there are links on that page. So they do put an important note here that this release will break compatibility with add-ons made for MVDA 2024.4.2 and earlier. And the MVDA installer no longer plays a sound when launching. They also apologize that beta downloads are temporarily unavailable, but ask you to follow them on social media for updates during this time. And they have made some notes about this release. It introduces MVDA remote access, allowing you to control the remote computer running MVDA from another device running the MVDA. So that's pretty cool. There are many improvements to speech, particularly responsiveness with the SAPI 4 and SAPI 5 and one-core voices. There's a rate boost, and automatic language switching is now supported in SAPI 5. SAPI 4 voices now support audio ducking, leading silence trimming, and keeping the audio device awake. The add-on store's automatic update system has been improved and will allow you to select channels for automatic updates and run automatic updates in the background. Now it's easier to manually refresh OCR and toggle automatic refresh with new commands. Native selection is now available in Chrome and Edge. Microsoft Office and LibreOffice support has improved, notably with more shortcuts being announced. And default input and output braille tables can now be determined based on NVDA language. Native support has been added to the DotPad tactile graphics device from .ink and has a multi-line braille display. There have been other minor fixes for braille displays, particularly around connectivity. LibLouis Braille Translator, eSpeakNG, and Unicode CLDR have been updated. New Coptic, Compact, Cuneiform, and Portuguese 6 computer braille tables are now available. The changes introduced in Beta 7/8. So note, Beta 7 was skipped due to a technical issue during the release process. But for Beta 8, you get updates to translations, fixes for properly disabling the add-on store and remote access settings in secure mode, a fix for reading math and PDFs where alt text contains an ampersand, or I guess that's less than symbol. The toggle report for CLDR script has been fixed. Issues with connecting to an untrusted relay server has been fixed. And documentation now includes a tab icon. I will link the web page with this information below. So last week we talked about Google and some of their updates coming. One of those was the on-device sign language model for translators and LSPs. Google has unveiled Sign Gemma. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. It's a new AI model that translates American Sign Language into text or speech directly on devices like smartphones, tablets, and laptops without requiring consistent internet access. The design enhances privacy and helps users in areas with limited connectivity. Built on Google's Gemini Nano framework, Sign Gemma uses a vision transformer to interpret hand shapes, expressions, that's facial expressions, and motion, generating English output via a compact language model. The system was trained on over 10,000 hours of ASL video data. Early tests suggest translation times under 200 milliseconds, but Google urges broader validation, especially across different devices. A developer preview is now open for language service providers, researchers, and the deaf community, who are encouraged to provide feedback on accuracy, dialect support, and error rates. I do have a link to the feedback form below, as well as a link to the article. Experts say that Sign Gemma could enable real-time services like live chat translation and captioning, though human interpreters may still be needed for nuanced or culturally complex situations. Google has released a model card detailing the training data and known limitations, such as reduced performance in low light conditions. The full launch is expected late in 2025, with resources and API access available now at developers.google.com/SignGemma. And that link will be linked below as well. So here's the article. Again, I'll have it linked below. This is a picture of some of the mapping, but it's just the hands there, which I could see maybe, but again, for American Sign Language, the facial expression is also part of the sign language. So let's take a look. I want you to watch this video here because this actually shows you the tracking. It's a man. The video has no sound, and it's a middle-aged gentleman. I can't tell. Light-skinned. He's wearing a blue button-up shirt with a collar. And let's take a look at what he says. So I'll pause it for just a second here before it starts translating. And so what they did was they pushed his picture back a little bit and put a little translate window over here in the video. But if you'll notice, there are different colors for what the different areas of the body that it's tracking. So you've got these greenish points on his face, and they have outlined his eyebrows, his eyes, he's got a little dot on his forehead. His lips are really well outlined, and he's got a couple of other dots around his face, like on his cheeks, ears, and those kind of things. And then his right hand is tracked in pink. His left hand is tracked in a red or orange. And then there's a blue line that runs from wrist to shoulder, or wrist to elbow to shoulder to elbow to wrist across his chest. So I was pretty surprised at how well they've got the tracking set up here, and I'm sure they can probably improve and add more points, but I just thought that was really interesting. So let's see what he says. Google works hard to build and make technology more accessible. And then he smiles, and it says, sign Gemma. And it says, apply at goo.gle/sign Gemma. So let's take a look at the sign Gemma form. So it looks like it's primarily tested with ASL, or American Sign Language, and English, which are two completely different signing languages, and then other countries have their own sign languages as well. The difference between ASL and English is the grammatical structure. So English is, as I'm talking to you, it would be like, if I want to ask you your name, I would say, what is your name? And if I did it in ASL, it's name you. And so I just have a questioning look on my face, and that's why the facial expression tracking part, I think, is so cool. They didn't just go for tracking the hands, but I am not an interpreter, and someday I hopefully will be able to afford to add ASL interpretation. Let's take a look at what we have here. They are eager to hear from developers, researchers, and the wider deaf and hard of hearing communities of the world. So if you are one of those people, please feel free to fill out this form. Again, I'm going to link it below. Let's see. So you just tell them about yourself. And then here's the interest. And so if you want to help with early testing or want to help build the user applications, yeah, so I mean, whatever you feel like you would like to help with, and what would you like to see in Sign Gemma, and anything else you would like them to know. So yeah, that's the form. It's pretty simple. If you're interested, please feel free to go fill it out. I have it linked below. Okay, and now we are to the training of the weeks. So Accessibility Talks, they have a YouTube channel and a website. They did a training on color in CSS this week. Accessibility Talks is a virtual meetup featuring speakers and conversations around digital accessibility. This month, the discussion was about new color options in CSS, what they add to the variety of color choices we already have, and how these color options can help to make your site more accessible. This video is available on YouTube and their website, which I will link below. They also have an archive of their other trainings. Obviously, you'll see them if you go on YouTube. And this is a great company. They do a lot of talks on accessibility. I believe, unless it was the Portland user group, I could be getting that mixed up, but I believe that Accessibility Talks maybe was where I first heard Michelle Williams talk about the part to whole concept. So they've got some really good information on there for developers, designers. I encourage you to go look through all of their videos, see what you can find to help you. This week, the AT of the week is dictation. So we'll talk about some built-in dictation, and we'll see how my Mac does for me with my lovely North Carolina accent or Appalachian accent. And one note, it is Appalachian because of the Appalachian tribe that lived there. So just FYI, if you've been calling it Appalachian, you're wrong. So I just had to add that little bit. Sorry, drives me crazy being from there and having people mispronounce it. That's why when I moved to Nevada, I pronounced it Nevada because I know how it feels when people mispronounce where you live. So, so let's get started with our AT of the week.
Okay, let's start with Word. Word has a dictate button already built into it, so we're going to try that out today. And I've had some let's just say it's much better than it used to be. So let's give this a try here. I'm going to hit that. I have to allow it because I haven't used it yet. And so when I do press dictate, I get a little menu, a little floating menu that I can drag around. I'm going to pull it in front of the paper here so you all can see it a little bit better. And so it has a microphone, it has settings, and it has a little circle with the question mark or help button. So if I hit settings, I'm going to make sure it's my headset. I can enable auto punctuation. Excuse me, it says filter sensitive phrases, which is fine for right now because I have had some dictation do some things in front of audiences that, I mean, for me, it's a little embarrassing, but it's also kind of funny when it comes up with those words. But we'll leave the filter on for now. And right now I have it paused. It's not listening to me at all. So all I have to do is hit the button here. Now, just to differentiate, dictation is different from voice recognition and computer control type settings. This only allows me to enter text into the document. So I still have to be able to use my mouse for this or some other form of access like voiceover or something like that. I'm not controlling anything with my voice for this. I'm just dictating into the document. Hello, exclamation point. Oh, that doesn't work. Scratch that. Well, it looks like it eventually got it. Oh, cool. Well, I think I can. It looks like, okay, this is a little new to me because because I haven't used the word dictation in a while, I tend to use Dragon Naturally Speaking, which only works on Windows computers. So apparently, I do have a little control over how the dictation itself works, and it looks like it takes a second to process. So I need to wait a second before I go to erase everything. So let's give this a try again. Hello, exclamation point. I hope you are having a lovely day, period. Stop listening. Oh, and it worked. And it also seems to give me feedback. It says, we heard stop listening. So I think that's great. I really like the improvements in that. Okay, so that is your basic like Word on a Mac. This is Word for Mac that I'm doing this on. So let's go check out. So now we'll discuss dictation in Pages. Actually, in the Pages application on a Mac, you need to go into Edit, and at the bottom is Start Dictation. Do you want to enable dictation? Press Start Dictating. To start dictating, press the little microphone or choose Start Dictation from the Edit menu. And I'm going to enable it. Hello! Exclamation point. Maybe I think I might need to hit it again. Hold on. Because I do not see another little thing. Hello! Exclamation point. I hope you are having a lovely day, period. Ah, there's the little one I'm supposed to hit. Okay. And so you see when I clicked on the microphone, it stopped listening to me. This was the experience here was much more what I'm used to when I use dictation, is it didn't type out exclamation point and then turn it into one. It just typed the exclamation point. That's what was confusing me in Word. So there's dictation. So you have dictation in Word applications on Windows and Mac. You have dictation built into the word processing application for Mac, which is called Pages. And then you also have dictation on Android devices. Uh, yeah, and I think Windows also has a built-in dictation for their built-in apps. And I can't ever remember if it's, there are a couple of those. So Windows has built-in dictation. Typically, I believe, hold on, let's see. So, but if we go to the Chrome Web Store, there are several that come up if you search it. So I'm just going to hit enter. And you have dictation for Gmail. You've got voice in, get voice to type anywhere. I probably should download a couple of these and try them out. It's just been a little while. You have Talkatype, you've got Echo, Too Lazy to Type, use your voice. You have Dictation Box, which is a box that you would dictate in. It's kind of like the Dragon has a dictation box for when applications are not accessible or won't allow Dragon to type directly into them. And then it uses a copy paste command to transfer it. There's a transfer button on the Dragon window, and you hit transfer, but it really uses a control V, control C, copy and paste commands in the background. You have speak smart dictation. Let's see, and then Scribosaurus. There are a couple of these that don't have great reviews, so I don't know if I should. Those are like 2.2 and a 0, so I don't know that I would recommend those. Everything else is above a 3 star, so I would encourage you maybe to try some of them, but also check the privacy um, information in the App Store as well. So like if I go here, there's an overview, and then oh, and that one's in the European Union, so you might be a little bit safe. But here there's a whole section about privacy, and so what they will actually share about you. So you may just want to go check that out before you pick one. Um, so yeah, those are those are the ones for the Chrome extensions as well. And yeah, so there's lots of dictation apps out there. You have a dictation on the keyboard. I use dictation on my Android phone quite a bit, and I just hit the little I have it turned on, and it's just on my keyboard.
So there's also a dictation microphone if you turn it on in the accessibility properties on iPhone as well. So yeah, there's plenty of dictation out there you can go play with, see how well it works with your accent. I would not recommend I would not recommend most dictation for people who maybe have a stutter or strong speech impediments, because they aren't really made to learn your voice, and that's why Dragon is typically recommended, say, for someone with a speech impediment other than stuttering. And then there is, I believe it's Voice It, is the app recommended for people who do stutter. So, you would definitely want to talk to an assistive technology professional. Again, there are free ATAC centers all over the United States where you can actually go try these things out. And you're welcome to ask me more questions about speech impediments and Dragon. I've used Dragon for a decade. I'm obviously not using it now because I have a Mac now, but I've got to get the voice control down for the Mac, and then I will be going a little more efficiently. But yeah, so those were some interesting trials of the built-in dictation in some of the apps. And again, I encourage you to try that. So thanks for joining me this week. Don't forget, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, we do have a live coming up. So this will be our second weekly live to discuss what we talked about in the news, any surprise updates between now and then, and to ask questions. So please join me. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you feel like this information will help people. And I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. Have a great week.